I don't know what episode we're on. That's the other thing. Sometimes I remember what episode we're on.
Yeah,
23? This is 20. No, this is 22, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Intro. Hey guys, welcome to Real Talk by Our Stories, Your Legacy. Today we're continuing with the 22nd episode of the Rona series. Today it's going to be short episode. It's going to be just a quick discussion of things, of life, of whatever we want to talk about, which is usually what we do anyways. But today we are missing a couple of our usual hosts, Stephen and Vaughn. So it's just Andrew and myself today. So we're going to hop into it, just enjoy the conversation. So, Andrew, we don't have to go around the table too much. It's just the two of us today. But first, we're filming this on a Wednesday. Typically it's a Monday, but it's a Wednesday. This week's been a little hectic. How was your Thanksgiving, man? We haven't really talked since Thanksgiving. How'd that go for you?
It was good. It was a low-key Thanksgiving. Typically, I would have like multiple. This is the first year that I've just kind of had one Thanksgiving to go to, So it was just my mom and my siblings. We just did a quick dinner at her house, and then didn't really do much after that. Like I went to maybe saw some family members, and on Black Friday and like on what did I don't even, man, that's how much Thanksgiving was a blur to me. It kind of just all meshed together. I don't really remember it that much, and it was kind of just kind of like another day for me. So didn't really do much. Kind of caught up on my shows. That's really it. Kind of boring. You know what? Thanksgiving kind of just, for me personally, I think it just threw me off because like it was just such a long weekend, and then like I think it's the real first break I've had since being like on mission. So it was, for me personally, I'm gonna be the first one to complain. It was too much time off.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. I know. I mean, with everything that is already 2020, it's one of those things, man. Thanksgiving, it was weird. Honestly, I'll be real. It was weird this year. It was one of those things that typically Thanksgiving is like, okay, I know for sure it's happening this year. I say this year, but usually when it's that week, it's like, okay, I know Thanksgiving's happening. I know this. I already know the plans. I already know this, and this. But this year, like even on Thanksgiving, like got in the car to do that stuff and like go to the small family safe gathering and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. Like I got in the car and I was like, man, today is Thanksgiving. Like it does not feel like Thanksgiving.
It not at all.
I'm like, this is weird. Like, why are we hopping in the car at 8:30 on a Thursday to go somewhere? Like this is weird. Like I don't get it. Obviously, like it's Thanksgiving, but it was just one of those things this year where it didn't feel like Thanksgiving. Like you knew it was Thanksgiving, but
it felt like you were doing something wrong almost. Like I should not be going to Thanksgiving dinner.
Right? Yeah. I mean, especially with the whole I say scare tactic, but I mean it's a real life thing, obviously. But man, they've been putting out these commercials recently, and ads on YouTube videos and all that stuff. Like you watch anything, like if you watch TV, they put a commercial on where it's like, I don't know if you've seen it probably, but they have these like three people. It's like, oh, this is, you celebrating like the score of a game or something. And then it's like, next scene is the same guy head on like a ventilator. And it's like, And
Jesus.
then, it's like that. And then there's like, oh, it's a surprise birthday. And there's only like 5 people there, but then they're in the hospital. And then this is you celebrating Thanksgiving or a holiday gathering. And then they show grandpa in the hospital bed. And I'm like, all right, we get it. Don't gather. It's fine. But I think a lot of people still gathered regardless. I think that's one of those
Yeah.
things.
It goes back to the free will thing. You know, people are going to gather because they have the free will, right? It's
Yeah.
I think it's really hard because, you know, people are going to do what they want at the end of the day, right? People have their own opinions on COVID and they're going to act on it. You know what I mean? Whether it's like, yeah, I don't care what COVID does. Let natural selection do its work. You know what I mean? I totally respect that opinion, right? And then you have the other side of the coin where everyone, you know, they do have something to lose from it, right? And so I totally get both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? And it is weird seeing like those commercials, like how you can properly show, you know, gather, social distance, wear a mask, and all this other stuff. And it's like there's a positive way and then there's the scare tactic way, and then, you know, it's just a really confusing time for a lot of people because, you know, you got people trying to tell you what to do in a sense, and they're like, you have people who will comply and the people who are like, no, I'm gonna do what I want. In America, this is the way.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
all that to say, Thanksgiving did not feel like Thanksgiving this year. The food still tasted good, still tasted the same.
Yeah.
I ate entirely way too much.
Yeah.
Went into it knowing I shouldn't eat that much because 2 dinners is a lot, but I still ate too much and I dreaded the second dinner.
And from yeah, and for me, I can't relate to that, man, and it's hard for me because like even having Thanksgiving dinner felt wrong. I'm like, man, this is the same. It hit different. You know what I mean? Thanksgiving dinner just didn't hit right for me. You know, and like yeah, you see all those memes like, oh yeah, me going for my fourth plate. Like I couldn't even do it. I could not do it. It just didn't feel right to me. It was hard. It was hard going for a second plate. I did get a second plate, but it was hard. Didn't want to do it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, to be fair, I only did 1 plate at each place. So, I mean, normally I would do 2 plates at each place, but yeah, it's just weird.
Didn't feel right.
Yeah, you know, it's weird because it's like, oh, they pulled the turkey out. I'm like, why are we eating turkey? I'm like, oh, right. It's Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. That's what that's the traditional thing to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You know, turkey just makes you tired all as is. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving was a little weird this year, but hey, you know, I don't know what that says about Christmas coming up. I don't know what that's gonna look like. It's gonna be the same thing, I feel like. You know, gifts are gonna be a little bit different this year. Gift exchanges, you're sending everything online. Probably you're either sending it to yourself and then sending it to them, or you're just getting their address and sending it directly to them, which again is a little odd. I mean, yes, like places like Amazon and stuff offer gift wrap and gift receipts and all that stuff in the box, so it's already gift wrapped and everything, and you can send it to them that way. But that's the other thing that's hurting too, just because I know like in Washington we are locked down again as of what 2-3 weeks ago at this point.
I think it lifts on the 14th or something like that.
Yeah, it lifts on the 14th, but then I feel like it's just gonna go straight back into effect the following week, just because it's like, well, hey, I know it lists the 14th, but people are probably still gonna gather for Christmas. So y'all need to chill out and lock down again. You know,
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, people probably aren't going to listen. Honestly, I think it's just unrealistic to have people follow those expectations. Which,
but then again, we might see a turn because some states are getting the vaccine, so that might kind of build some confidence in in certain parties and in certain politics. Yeah, I think Washington is slotted to get. I don't know. I forgot what the number is. It's up in the 10,000 somewhere. But the first strain of the vaccines are supposed to hit Washington, I think, in the next week or the next couple of weeks or something like that. And I don't know. We might see things start to turn, and you might have stronger confidence in legislation where they're like, there's the vaccine. We can maybe start making start leading forward on opening back up and starting to open up the state and try to build confidence in people again. So I'm hoping Christmas is a little different because that is kind of a staple to the holidays, Christmas and thing, and the New Year's too. So, I'm trying to stay hopeful. I would love things to open back up and we can kind of normalize being out and about again.
Yeah.
It is weird seeing early curfews and, what's it called? Like the bars not being open and the clubs not being open, and who knows what's gonna happen? But it'll like everything else. It takes time. Time will tell what happens with us.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's one of those things too. I'm very hopeful that is the way it goes. I can also see it going the other way. Honestly, just 2020, you're being both optimistic and pessimistic at the same time.
Your surprises.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's just like, the vaccine's coming out to some states, but in those states, you are going to have protests of some sort that like the anti-vaxxers and all of that stuff. And
yeah.
Well, don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but it's those things. It
just feels like a movie, honestly. It just feels like a movie.
Yeah.
Feel like a movie that's still being written, and it's still showing as it's being written sometimes. And like the writers are just like throwing darts at a board, like, oh yeah, put this on there, and it happens. It's like, what? Slow down, can't keep up.
It's true, man. I think the biggest thing to come from that part of the conversation is, hopefully we open up again. Likely that it will probably get closed, but we all know that time of the year is huge. Sales for a lot of places, and a lot of places like, obviously small businesses. We mentioned Amazon, obviously, because that's what, that's the largest conglomerate of everything at this point. Everyone's that's the way to shop right now, is online. But obviously, like the small businesses, they obviously take a hit. They're not Amazon. They're not going to be able to just give you free shipping and whatever that is.
Right.
It's one of those things. You still got to support small businesses. I know that's a little hard during this time, just because a lot of small businesses, yes, they have online orders, but are they ready to handle the influx of those orders? Because I know there's movements of support small businesses, which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for. But then you're spending all the money and buying all these things and placing multiple orders with small businesses. Do they have the capacity to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to hire more people to do that.
Yeah.
Don't put a burden on them as well. But it's a burden that obviously you would rather have them have, just so they don't go out of business like a lot of small businesses.
Right.
But that's something that's looming with the upcoming season.
Yeah, usually I mean, with supply constraints and all the other business constraints, on top of everyone trying to get the same thing that you are, it's already a hard time enough to keep up with big business. So, yeah, you're right on that one. It's, I mean, you have to spend the money to hire contractors or external support, because you can't handle it internally. It all goes back to the overhead. But it kind of feels like it's almost being forced, to go to support big business because they have the money and the capital to spend, on those resources and that support. So that's another rabbit hole of conspiracy theory we won't have to get into.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy time of year.
Yeah.
I think with all that said, on Black Friday, that was a huge thing as well. And Cyber Monday. I know on Black Friday we did our typical gathering, in quotations, of course, with the guys. If they were able to. I don't think you were able to make it.
I don't know what happened that day. What happened that day? Oh, I think I stayed up too late and I slept through it. I was like, shit. I woke up at like 10. I was like, damn it, I missed it.
It's all good. But yeah, no, we did the same thing we normally do. We usually meet closer to 7:30 for breakfast. Obviously, That's a little early, but we like to get out there and just get into these places early. But this year, we did it all virtual, and it was cool. I think we ended up pushing it to like 9 o'clock, 9:30 or something, because like, like the restaurant Cars, like they didn't open until 8. So I was like, oh, I can't even get food until 8:30 because they open at 8, so you place your order at 8. So then we just hopped on Zoom. We're on Zoom until about 11:30. I feel like that's usually what time we leave Cars anyways when we meet in person. Get there at 7:30 and leave 10:30, 11, just because we're just shooting the shit and everything. So it's different this, obviously being virtual, but I mean it was still kind of fun getting to talk to people. Obviously a little different just because we're all in our own houses and have other people as distractions at that point. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Mean that in the nicest way possible, distractions. But just because normally it's just the guys hanging out and having breakfast and just shooting shit. While we still were able to do that, there was other factors, some kids running around or significant others talking or
running around,
handing them and popping on the screen. It's like, whoa, this was a guy.
This is our time.
This is a guy.
Slow down. Yeah.
What is this?
No, you need to go into the other room, please.
Go to the other room. How dare you make me a cup of coffee when I ran out? Jeez.
Yeah. Jeez, come on. Who do you think I am? Okay.
Oh God, what the heck?
Get my own coffee. My own man. Okay.
I will leave the call to go get coffee and come back real quick. Jeez.
You don't tell me when I need coffee. Okay.
I know. But no, I mean it was fun. It was different, but it was still nice to kind of chat with the brothers and all that stuff. Calling out Steven though, I don't understand. He had no excuse. In person, that's fine. You're visiting family. Zoom, you could have popped in for 10 minutes, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Call you out on this episode. That's fine.
He was out of town though, wasn't he? Like I don't know what he was doing.
He was out of town, but he could have hopped in for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had no excuse. This is the internet and video calls.
Yeah, that's the one thing probably COVID did bring out of out of all of this is trying to find other ways to connect with and stay connected with other people. You know what I mean? I think for myself personally, I've just been more proactive on reaching out to. You remember Josh and Alyssa, right? When they moved out of state.
Yeah.
I've just been, and I do this not with just them, but with other people, just to call them saying, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" It could be like a 5-minute conversation just to be like, all right, well, I just want to say hi, bye, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I've messaged them a few times this year.
Yeah.
Just kind of quick check-in, ask about her art, talk about art.
Yeah.
Go to the virtual wedding, the virtual
2020 virtual wedding. Who would have thought?
I know, man. Yeah. So it was, like I said, it was different, but it's still fun. We even shared screens and went Black Friday shopping together online. This was kind of fun in that regard. It was a little weird, a little different. Looked at certain things. I don't think anything really stuck out to us too much to purchase. I don't know about you, but I mean, I spent some money on a few things more stuff that I needed rather than like just a random splurge. How about you? Did you get anything like splurge on anything?
I didn't. I tried to. I really would. I mean, I tried to go out and shop. I mean, online obviously, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. Like honestly, I think the only thing I bought over the weekend that I was like trying to like find was like just plants. I bought a couple plants. That was it. Because give a little shout out to my nursery, Kent Hill Nursery. they are like the spot for like exotic plants that and they get a regular supply of them too. And they provide like just great services. You know, they do repotting for you. They got nice pots. They do they put a drainage hole in there for you. They do the works, and they know a lot about plants, and the whole staff there is really friendly, and they actually will actually teach you and how give you tips and tricks to care for your plants. So that's just my go-to spot. But yeah, I did buy a couple plants that I wasn't expecting to buy, so I kind of splurged out on myself in that regard. Bought a new mister for my plants. Yeah, I think it's just a hobby that I'm in right now, just a plant thing. And I think also in general, people have been like buying more house plants too, just to keep saying. I've seen a lot of people just posting more plants. I don't know if that's the universe and me manifesting it, just with my environment. But I have seen an uptick on people just buying plants and exotic plants to be specific and collecting that more. So
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Definitely a lot more people doing plants now. We are not one of them. I like plants. However, they die around here. Not my fault. But for getting plants, we usually have to get fake plants. That's the only way they'll live around here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's getting crazy out there in this plant community. I'll tell you what, I haven't picked it up yet, but I just spent I think $200 on a clipping, and for the listeners out there, a clipping, if you don't know, is just a rooted stem and a leaf, and it just has the nodes in there, and it's the intent of it is you have this full big huge plant, and it's just a small piece of it, and you're supposed to propagate it and grow it yourself from either it could be a baby or like a teenager plant or in age, and you're supposed to grow from it, right? Because the whole plant itself, the plant's called a Monstera albo. So like you probably seen it. It's like the fenestrated leaf where it has the holes in it, and it's this huge tropical plant. But this one is special because like there's a lack of chlorophyll, so it has like white spots, or sometimes it'll have full white leaves that'll come out, and it'll look huge if you do it right. But it's just a really hard plant to take care of, and it's really exotic. So $200 for a clipping. I mean, you can only imagine how much a full life size, would cost. I mean, it can go up to like thousands if you really wanted to, like, not have to worry about growing it yourself. But that's just how crazy the plant community has been just during COVID.
Yeah, it's a crazy. It's been nice to see booming of that. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Plus, it's always nice to have a plant around the house.
Yeah, good oxygen.
Good
bomb oxygen.
Only downside is they attract a shit ton of flies. I will say that. I have plants in my office, and there's a lot of flies that just randomly pop up, and I'm like, seriously? You were nice.
Got a tip for you.
But
got a tip for you, brother. Cinnamon. Put cinnamon in the soil, and spray your plants with neem oil. That'll detract pests in plants, detract the pest for your plants.
Yeah. It's not necessarily my plants; it's the other plants.
Well, tell your coworkers to be better parents. I mean, I'm kidding.
Like, I know you want a plant in your office, but it is messing the suite up. There are flies everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'll talk to them. I'll set them straight.
Man, you know what? They just gotta listen to the podcast. That's all.
Yeah. Boom. There you go.
Send this episode to them.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it's been, just like I said, we both said it. It's been a weird year, been a weird week. Being Thanksgiving, didn't feel like Thanksgiving, and then Black Friday, Cyber Monday were basically the same. I like you didn't really splurge. I think honestly, I bought a couple plugs, couple strands of lights, but really those weren't sales. They were just things that I wanted to buy. I think the only thing I bought on sale, honestly, was a can opener. And really, it was just to match the rest of the appliances in the kitchen. We just have that specific teal cyan can opener. But that is what was needed at the time. So that is what I bought.
Yeah, it's the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all about that vibe, man. It's all about matching.
Hmm.
But I think leading, into the holiday season and what 2020 has left, I think this would have been a good thing for having Zavon on this episode, because what's left in 2020? We've obviously seen I'm sure you heard like that giant metal rod that was in the ground in the Utah desert, in a very desolate, no one would ever go there. People say don't look for it because they'd probably get lost finding the damn thing.
Hmm.
I don't know. Have you seen any of that talk?
I've seen it. I haven't read into it, to be honest. I've like seen them like, what the hell is everyone talking about? So I haven't really read into it too much myself. So I am kind of curious. Like,
Yeah,
to me, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm like, what? Okay, why are people freaking out about this?
I know. It's one of those things. I think people are just finding stuff to freak out about, but it's also one of those like,
To cling on.
you're in the middle of the desert. Where did this thing come from?
Yeah.
It got left here from maybe a movie, is what people are speculating. But it's like a giant rod that's just in the ground, and then
It's so weird.
it disappeared overnight. Like, who knows how long it'd been there, and then it disappeared. And then I think this part's the hoax, but apparently it showed up in another country. I don't know. Who knows?
I think it's aliens.
That could have been
I'll say
welded.
it's aliens.
It could have been welded in overnight, but that's what people are saying is aliens.
People are getting really bored out there. I'll tell you that much, maybe.
Hey, you know what? 2020 has thrown a lot of shit at us. I would not be surprised if aliens popped up too. It is a weird year, and if that happened, I don't think a lot of people would be surprised. I think everyone would just be like,
right? Okay, what's next?
It seems fine, I guess. This is normal now. What's next? Godzilla's real. Godzilla is he's popping out of the ocean. Oh man. It's a weird year. It is a weird year. But yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at in the year. I know we have a few more episodes to close out 2020. This is something the Rona series will continue into 2021, folks, just because it's going to. The COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon. It will probably be here for a while. So we don't know when the Rona series will end. When it does, we will be happy. It'll be a sad moment just because we'll be so many episodes in at that point. But we are looking forward to the end of whenever we end this series in the podcast. But yeah, 2020. Who knows what the heck is going to happen? And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier. I want to address a question that folks have been asking, that people ask us all the time, because the Rona series is kind of all over the place, and sometimes it's very structured and sometimes it's not. So it's a question that I know some of us get often. It is, what makes you guys unique? Why do you listen, or why do we listen to you? What makes you guys unique? And I can tell you guys right now, for those who are listening, this is the answer that I have come to perfect, and this is what I talk about. Honestly, there's nothing unique about us other than the fact that we are uniquely ourselves. There's nothing that we're going to do that is completely unique to the other 50 million podcasts that are probably out there that you are probably listening to as well. There's nothing unique about that part. What we really care about is doing what we want to do, and that's having conversations with our family, our friends, and those that we find interesting. If you would like to listen to us, awesome. We appreciate your support. If you don't want to listen to us, that is completely fine as well. We are not going to force you to listen to us. If you have suggestions, great. We will take them into consideration. We might talk about that stuff. We might not. It's one of those things. We, at the end of the day, will talk about the stuff that we want to talk about with the people that we want to talk about it with. And if we find someone who is interesting to have on that conversation, that is what we're going to do. And that's the answer. I think, straight to the point. That is what it is. There's nothing that we're going to do that is completely unique to any other podcast out there or any other social platform that we do. Yes, we have Twitter. Yes, we have Instagram. Yes, we have a YouTube. We post videos up there as well. What makes us different? Not much. Other than just the genuine conversations we have with one another and with who we want. And that's what it comes down to, honestly. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I know a lot of people ask that question. Hopefully that answers it for you. Andrew, do you have anything to add on that?
No, a little bit. Tyler, yeah, I agree with you. We're kind of in a limbo. I mean, with this COVID stuff, trying to really revamp some things. I agree with you wholeheartedly about. We'll talk about what we want to talk about. I will say that we will get to a place where we might run with things and split off and do things differently. Who knows? And start leading forward on different topics, different communities, different spaces. And it's all about finding that space, right? You know what I mean? It's figuring out how we want to stand on our platform and which platform to stand on. And I truly think that it takes time to figure that out. It doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. Organizations and nations aren't built overnight. It just takes growth. And this might just be our starting point. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it is not an end all be all for you to be here, to listen to us, to watch our videos, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, what we are hoping to do is not only empower our voices, but your guys' as well. If you want to talk about something, let us know. We'll have you on. We'll see what we can go with. That's what it is. It's about empowering the community around us, empowering our voices, sharing our stories, empowering your voice, sharing your story, and ultimately leaving a legacy. That's what we do here at Our Stories, Your Legacy. With that said, we are going to wrap up today's episode. It's a good episode. It's a short episode. It was a good talk. It's good to just have conversations with your friends. Andrew, it's been a great conversation with you tonight. Look forward to have more of those conversations, all of that stuff. As we always do, for those who listen, challenge yourself. Think about these things. Think about what's left for 2020. Are you happy with where you're at? Really question that. Look at yourself in the mirror. Are you feeling lack of motivation? Are you feeling a little lethargic? Probably. It's been a long year. All of us has felt it. Zvon's famous line, same shit, different day. It's one of those things. It has literally been that. So if you're feeling that way, we understand. We are giving you a virtual hug right now. And we hope that you can get through whatever shit you're going through or whatever you're feeling. Just know that you're always going to be enough. And just try to find motivation in the small things. Start a new hobby, grow plants.
Yeah.
Go for a walk, go do workouts, do small things. Don't matter what it is. Just try to reignite that passion. That's what it is. So sit down, kind of look at yourself, try to figure it out. Are you happy? If you are, awesome. Keep going, keep trucking. If you're not, hey, it's okay. I don't think anyone is really, truly 100% happy this year. It's been weird. It's been a long year. But hey, we're making the most of this year. So we challenge you to do that. Look at yourself. Make sure you are good. Make sure you are good. And that's all we got to say. With that, we will catch you on the next episode. Peace.